A very good evening to one and all present over here, and especially our speaker, Mr. Saurav. Do you guys know who is Saurav? Let me first introduce him. He is a computer science UG student at West Bengal University of Technology of India. And as you know, Befikra community is a community of learners, mentors, and developers. Now let's have a glance at his work before starting this session. Are you guys interested? Why won't one be? He has worked as a mentor at Girl Script Winter of Code 21 and mentored 50 plus students, presently coding tutor at ConnectBird and previously intern at Geeks for Geeks as well. Now to add to this, he is the founder of a community named Coding Community, a community of coding enthusiasts where resources, roadmaps to learning different technologies, internship opportunities, and different tech programs are shared. This session is basically for guiding you all about machine learning, and Saurabh will be answering to your questions or doubts by the end of the session. YouTube audience can turn on caption. Now over to you, Saurabh.
Thank you for such a great introduction. A very good evening to all of you. I'm Saurabh Mukherjee, pursuing my bachelor's degree in computer science and engineering from West Bengal University of Technology. In today's session, we are going to start how to get started with machine learning. So let's get started with the session. So in today's session, we are going to learn what is machine learning, what are the different types of machine learning, prerequisites of machine learning, resources to get started with machine learning, and machine learning algorithms. So, do you guys have any idea what is machine learning? Anyone wants to reply? They can turn your mic. Okay. So basically, machine learning is a branch of artificial intelligence where we train models to perform and predict solutions. We all are using YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. So basically, when you scroll a feed on Twitter or YouTube, so basically the machine learning algorithm uses historical data based on your past uses and predict the data on your feed. So basically, here also the machine learning algorithm is working. So let's get started. How does machine learning process works? So it starts with an input of data. First, we have to give the input of the data to the machine learning model. First, we give the input of the data to machine learning model, then it analyzes the data and find patterns in the data. After finding patterns, it chooses the suitable type of machine learning. Like there are three types of machine learning we'll be covering in the next slide. So basically, there are three types of machine learning: supervised, unsupervised, and reinforcement. So basically, after finding the patterns in the data, the type of the data, it will be using suitable type of machine learning. Like if the data is labeled, if the column and the rows of the data is labeled, then it will be using supervised for that, because in supervised the data is known. And if the data is unknown, like you don't know, there are a lot of data is stored in the data set, so we'll be using unsupervised. And uh, and the reinforcement is a special case of machine learning. We'll be covering this in the next slide. So after choosing the suitable type of machine learning, it will learn from that data. The machine learns from the data and tries to predict the result. Okay, so after predicting the result, if it predict wrong answer or there is some error in the prediction, so what it will be doing, it will be taking feedback from the user, and it learns from it the feedback. Like if it is predicting wrong, then it will be doing that. It learns from the feedback, and in the future it won't be repeating that. So now let's get started with what are the types of machine learning. So the first type is supervised machine learning. So if the data set we'll be using is labeled or known, means for example, like if the data of students is given, the name of the students and their marks is given. So we all know that those are the names of students and those are the marks of students. Means the rows and the column both are labeled. So as we know that the data is known, so we'll be using supervised for that. And in supervised, these are the algorithms we'll be using for different types of data. Okay, so in supervised, these are the algorithms we'll be covering in upcoming slides. So now let's jump into unsupervised learning. So before that, now, like how the supervised works. So we all know that in supervised data is labeled. Like for example, this one is a structure. Okay, these are the structures and these are the name of the structures. Means the data is labeled. The type of that structure is mentioned is labeled. So basically, machine learns from these structures and these labels, and after learning from it, we'll be like testing. We'll be using test data for like to check that the machine learning can predict or not. So we'll be testing like this triangle. So we'll be asking machine that this structure is called what. So machine, if machine learns from the data, it will be predicting that this is triangle and this is circle. Means machine learns from these labels and this structure. So machine get to know that this structure is called circle and this is called rectangle. So whenever we ask that what this structure is called, then it will be predicting that this is a triangle. So machine learning supervised machine learning is works on labeled data, known data. Okay. And unsupervised. Now unsupervised, what is unsupervised learning? So unsupervised data is unknown or unlabeled. Means we don't know from where this data comes from. There are a lot of types of data stored in the data set. Okay. And in unsupervised, we'll be using this algorithm in future slides. Okay, so now how unsupervised learning works. So basically, we all know that in unsupervised, the data is unknown. Like you can see also that the image of apple, mango, and they are next together. So machine can't predict a group of data together. So we'll be using unsupervised. Like how does unsupervised works? So in unsupervised, machine will cluster this data. Clustering means grouping. Means it will be finding similarities in the data according to the color or the size. So according to the color and size, it finds similarities in the data, and it will be doing clustering means grouping, and it will be making a group of different types of data. Like if there is five types of data is given there, so it will be making five groups of different type of data, and after grouping of the data, it will be finding suitable unsupervised algorithm for that. Okay, so now this is the special type of machine learning called reinforcement learning. In reinforcement learning, the machine learns from its past experience. Like, let me cover this thing from an example. So, like, this one is input data, okay, and the data is unknown. We don't know what this is called, okay, and we train the model according to this data and ask that what is this. So the machine predicts that it is a mango, which is a wrong answer. We all know this is not a mango. So the machine predicts wrong, okay. So in this case, we'll be using reinforcement learning. Means the user gives a feedback to the machine that this is not a mango, this is an apple. So it learns from that, it noted that thing, and it learns from the feedback of the user. And in future, if we ask the same question again, that what is this, so machine already learns from the feedback by given by the user. So again, it will be predicting the correct answer, but it is an apple. Okay, so like in reinforcement, the machine learns from the past experience and the feedback given by the user. So this is in a special type of machine learning, and in reinforcement there are no algorithms. We have algorithms for unsupervised and supervised. So like what are the things you have to learn before get started with machine learning? So if you want to learn machine learning, first you have to know Python language or R language. So basically Python is recommended for beginner, and we should know R language for data science. Like after learning the machine learning, you can go for data science, then you have to learn R, but you can cover machine learning with Python also. So we'll be using Python only for machine learning. You can't use C++ or Java or JavaScript. You can't use other languages. So you have to use Python for that. And after that, like basic knowledge of linear algebra and linear regression. So linear regression is a type of algorithm we'll be using in supervised learning, where we have to plot graph and draw slopes. So we have to know like basics of linear algebra for that, and knowledge of Python libraries such as NumPy, Pandas, and familiar with notebooks such as Jupyter Notebook. So, like, what are these libraries, NumPy, Pandas? So, like, when we'll be writing the code, where we write the code of machine learning model, so we'll be using Jupyter Notebook. or Google Colab. So these are the notebooks where you can write text also and code also. Means it is a type of notebook. Notebook means your code will also be displayed and your text will be also be displayed. So all the data scientists and all machine learning engineers uses Jupyter Notebook or Google Colab for their for their work. So for using any type of algebra and mathematics, you have to import a library called NumPy. NumPy is used for mathematical calculations. So whenever you are using algebra matrices on or arrays in your data set, so you have to import NumPy. And what is pandas? Pandas is also an a Python library which you have to import to read your data set or any data analysis purpose. Like you want to analysis the data. Like you want to import the data and read the data to the machine learning algorithm. So you have to import pandas for that, and also uh, to grouping data and find mean of the data. So for that you have to import pandas, and also and you have to use like data sets. So where will be getting data sets? Means we have to import data set first before writing a program. So you can get your data from the website of Kaggle, and scikit-learn is also a like huge data set. You can import anything from scikit-learn. So yeah, and like these are the basic things you need to learn to get started with machine learning. And fifth point is optional. Like if you want to like learn machine learning deeply, then you have to get the knowledge of stats and probability and how to write code, clean code, and a structured form. Okay. So, yeah, the resources to get started with machine learning. So we'll be sharing this slide with all of you guys. We'll be also giving the link of this slide in the description and the comment section. So these are the resources where you can learn machine learning. You can learn maths from these sites, and you can learn Python from Stanford University, and you can learn machine learning, data processing, scikit-learn data set, and TensorFlow will be using in deep learning also, and the Kaggle data set. You can learn these things from these websites, and a lot of resources are there, like how to get started with machine learning, roadmap for machine learning. So we'll be giving all those resources in this slide. We'll be sharing at the end of the meeting. And yeah, so these are links of the data set. Like if you want to get some data set for your project, so we'll be getting the data set from kaggle.com, tensorflow.org, data.world, and these are the websites. And yeah, and these are some sample projects of mine I have shared in the project. So now, like what are the machine learning algorithms? So these are the like top machine learning algorithms. We will frequently using these ones most. The k-nearest neighbor, which is the linear regression and decision tree, and naive Bayes. So we'll be using these four algorithms frequently. Okay, so like what is k-nearest neighbor? So it is in supervised learning. It is a supervised learning algorithm. Means in supervised we know that data is labeled. So it is a type of algorithm we'll be using in supervised learning. Okay, so in k-nearest neighbor, what we'll be doing that in k-nearest neighbor you have to put let a value of k. Means the value of k should be greater than 1, and we'll be like letting a value of k should be greater than 1 after letting the value of k. So like for example, these are data sets given. These are the data of basketball, football, and tennis ball is given, and we have to predict that there is a black like we don't know the color of this ball. We have to predict that what is the color of this ball using machine learning. So we'll be using supervised for that. Why we'll be using supervised? Because it is mentioned that like it is mentioned that these are the cost and these are the durability. Means the type and the name of the data is given. So we'll be using supervised for that. And like how should we apply the algorithm here? So we'll be using k nearest neighbor here, and so let the value of k is equals to 5. Okay, so what is the like what is the value of k is equals to 5? So the value of k is equals to number of elements. So if the value of k is equals to 5, so we'll be covering 5 elements in our cluster. So basically we have to deploy a cluster around the ball which about the ball, which want to know like what is the color of this ball. So we'll be grouping the elements around this ball, and if we let the value of k equal to 5, so we'll be grouping 5 balls. So we have grouped 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 balls. So now we'll be using k nearest neighbor to predict the color of this ball. So k nearest neighbor states that if in the cluster, like if the number of like in this cluster the number of green balls is maximum, means there are three green balls. Okay, so there are three maximum of three balls are there, and brown and white balls are one only. So there are maximum chances that this black ball is also green. Means in k nearest neighbor we assume that means it is not 100%, like the prediction of this algorithm is not 100% correct. It assumes that this ball should be green also, because the cluster around these balls and the elements under the cluster are maximum elements are green. So this ball should be green because the elements around this ball is also green. Okay, so now linear regression. So this linear regression is the most important algorithm for supervised learning. In linear regression, we have to plot graph and a lot of things we'll be covering next. And in linear regression, there are two variables only. Means in linear regression, two variables means if the weight of the students are given and the height of the students are given. So there will be only two variables. If the name of the students are given and the marks of the students are given, it can't be three variables because we can't plot the graph of like three variables in linear regression. Okay, so in linear regression, how are we plotting the graph? So these are the data of the students. Okay, these are the like marks of the students and their name, like marks of the students and name of the students. So if we plot the graph according to x and y axis according to the values, so we have plotted the graph. Okay, so now what is this blue line? So basically we have like to draw a line, a linear line according to the distance between these lines. Means you have to draw a line which will be minimum distance to all these points. Means once we draw, we point out the points on the graph, we have to draw a line which is minimum distance with all those points. So if we plot this line over here, so the distance will be maximum from this point. So if we draw here, so also the distance will be maximum for these points. But we draw, if we draw at the mid of all these points, so the distance will be minimum for all those points. And this line is called like linear line for linear regression model. Okay, so after we'll be calculating slope and adding all those and all those distances. Okay, so now like third algorithm, decision tree. So when we'll be using decision tree, so if the data set is given is like that, is like a tree. Like if the data is given that is it day is sunny, so if it is sunny we'll go for swim. If it is not sunny, then it is raining. Means if it is not sunny, then it is raining, and if it is running, it is raining, then we stay in indoors. If it is not raining, then we'll be walking. So this data set is like a tree. Means it is forming a tree. So here we will be using decision tree algorithm. So you have to find the like analysis of the data set. You have to analyze the data set, find patterns, then we'll be using suitable type of machine learning, and then we'll be choosing the algorithm for that. Okay, so now these are like this one is the naive Bayes algorithm. And what this algorithm do, like it is used to predict probability of an event. Whenever you want to predict the probability of anything, to like you want to predict the probability of weather of tomorrow. Like we all know in cricket matches the weather is predicted using machine learning. So they use naive Bayes algorithm. So here we use conditional probability. This is the equation for conditional probability we all uses in mathematics. So like how to use naive Bayes algorithm. So let take an example. So like if you want to predict that tomorrow's weather. Okay, so if the weather is sunny, uh, it will like they can play the cricket match. If it is raining, they won't be playing, and if it is not raining, then it is like windy. So there are probability of playing or not playing. So since there are probability, yeah, since there you have to predict the probability, so we have to use nearby's. Yeah. So now we have like we all get to know about machine learning algorithms, types of machine learning. Now, like how to implement these things in real life. So we all know like we write our code on Jupyter Notebook. So you have to open your Jupyter Notebook and first import the Python libraries. Okay, so we have imported NumPy as NP means we have imported NumPy as short means NP means whenever we want to call an NumPy, we will be using NP for that, and whenever we have to call pandas, we'll be using PD for that. So we have imported NumPy pandas, and we are use from scikit-learn we are importing linear model because in this case we'll be using linear regression algorithm, like how to implement linear regression algorithm in a real life. Okay, so we'll be using importing scikit we'll be importing linear model from scikit-learn. We all know that scikit-learn is a huge database. You can import any algorithm, means if you want to use any machine learning algorithm, you have to import it from scikit-learn. Okay, and after importing scikit-learn again like again you have to import numpy and pandas, and after you have to load the data. Okay, so we all know that after importing the data set, you have to import the data into your file. So there are a lot of data in scikit-learn is a huge library. So if like after downloading the data or importing the data, you have to check that which data you want to import. So for example, if you want to import the load boston data from scikit-learn database, so when we like whichever data you want to import, you have to like import that data from scikit-learn, and you have to import store that data in a variable of your choice. Like I've stored this data in boston, so all those programs will be written in python only. You can't use any other language because Jupyter Notebook can't support other languages. Jupyter Notebook support Python. And after importing the data, so what is this transferring to a data frame? So basically, we all know that in linear regression there are two variables. Okay, and we have to plot the graph. So for x-axis and data frame, we are using data frame df. So for data frame x-axis, we are using this, and for y-axis, we are using this. And PD is pandas. So pandas is reading the data frame. Is PD the pandas we have imported is reading the data frame from this data set. Okay, and whichever columns or names you want to import, you have to mention that thing. Like I want to import the columns and the names from the dataset, so I mentioned that. And after like importing your x-axis and y-axis from the dataset, you have to describe the data, like for printing the data. So after importing the data, you have to print the data. So for printing, we're using data frame and x-axis for x-axis and describe function. So it will be giving an output of all the data. Okay. So after getting the output of the data, like we have to train the model. We all know like after importing the data, we have to train the model. So in this case, we are using linear regression algorithm. So we have to train the model according to linear model. Okay, so we have already imported linear model earlier. So we are using linear regression algorithm and linear model which we have imported earlier. So after that we have to split the data. So what is test data and train data? So when we'll be like training the model, we using train. Okay, we'll be using x train, y train, and we'll be testing the model when we want to test that after learning after learning model can predict or not. So then we have to use X train and X test and Y test. So for testing data, we'll be using X test, and for training we'll be using X train and Y train. Okay. So after like splitting the data, we have to fit the data according to like training model, and we have to calculate the coefficients. equal to, like, if you want to calculate the coefficient, you have to, like, we have stored the data on and in this variable. So just put coefficient after that, and it will be like printing the coefficient of all the arrays. Like in this data set, the data of arrays are given, so all the coefficients of the arrays are printed. Okay, so now, like, how do we know, like, machine can predict or not? So there are two things: test data and train data. Okay, so we'll be using like when we want to test the data, so we'll be using a variable of our choice, and we'll be using regression dot predict, and we want to predict x test. So when you use this function, it will be giving a value of a. Okay, a means arrays under that function, so it will be giving a value of a, and we'll be viewing this thing on white. Means we have already the collection of data, so we'll be observing that machine can predict the correct data or not. Means if you want to predict uh, the marks of a student, okay, according to their name, and you already have imported the data set, and machine learns from the data set, and you have entered the name of the student, and you want to predict the answer. So we'll be observing their marks from a y axis, okay, that the answer is correct or not. So like we have run this algorithm, and the answer of this algorithm is 17.5. Okay, so the test result is 17.5, means the marks of that student is 17.5. Now you can view this thing on your data set, that is it correct or not. So you can check that it is 17.4, means machine can't predict 100% correct. It predicts around plus or minus 0. 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, according to that. Okay, so if it is nearer than than your correct value, then it is predicting good. Okay, so machine learning model can't predict 100% correct. It predicts 99, 98% correct. Okay, so we can see that the result is 17.5, and the actual data is 17.4. So the machine learning model which we have trained is working well. So if it can't predict well, like if the data is 13 or 12 or 10, so there are huge difference between original and the trained data. So whenever we are facing this type of issue, then we have to train the model again. Means we have to again train the model using that algorithm, and after training multiple of times, it can predict the value, and also you can give feedback also. So like what is mean square error? Okay, so we have calculated the predicted value and the actual value we have in our data set. So mean square error is the difference between the test data, the actual value, and the test data. So we have to like using mean function for that. We'll be using mean for that, and numpy for calculations. So numpy dot mean, and the predicted data is stored in a, so a minus, and y test. Y test is the y-axis of the data. Okay, so we'll be using the actual result, means the actual result was 17.4, but the predicted result is 17.5. So we'll be stored this thing here, and it is the square. Okay, so the whole square of a minus y test. So after calculating this function, it will be giving an output of around 25. Okay, so if the output is 20, 25, or about 30, 30 or 35, so below 35, if the value is below 35, then the machine learning is good, and if it is above, then you have to train the data again. So this one is the mean square error. So whenever, like, you are using machine learning algorithms, first you have to like choosing the suitable machine learning type according to your data, then choose the suitable machine learning algorithm for that, and train the data and then calculate like x test and like test data and train data. Up before training, after like training, you have to calculate test data, and after testing the data, you have to calculate error. Okay, so by this error, you will get to know that your machine learning model is working good or not. So these are the industry recommended things. Like whenever you are deploying any machine learning models, you have to follow these steps. So in this session, we have covered what we have covered. We have covered types of machine learning, the algorithms of machine learning, and we have implemented linear regression algorithm, like how to write code in linear regression algorithm. So in future session also we'll be doing a lot of session in machine learning, and we'll be doing hands-on thing, like we'll be doing an event on, like you can also code with me, and we'll be deploying projects in the live session, and also you'll be sharing your project in the feedback form. And yeah, so a lot of upcoming sessions are there. So that is for today's session. Thank you for attending. You can follow me in these handles. The slides will be shared with you. And thank you for attending the event connected with Wayfigure community. And yeah, uh, yeah. Any questions from you guys? Any questions from your side? Am I audible?
Yeah, Saurav, you are audible.
Okay, so do one thing, share the link of the slide in the comments of the YouTube section, and also in the link of the chat section. Share the link of that slide.
Okay,
Okay.
sure.
Yeah.
We will share this
Okay.
link
Okay.
personally after those whoever will fill feedback form.
Yeah, I have already shared the resources for that, and also like first you have to learn Python. Okay. I know that most of you learn Python already. So after learning Python, you have to learn different Python libraries like NumPy, Pandas, and scikit-learn. Okay, so like learn different Python libraries, which is important for machine learning. Don't You don't have to learn all the Python libraries. So learn Python libraries. Okay, after that, learn how to read dataset. When you download dataset, you have to learn that how to read the data from the dataset using pandas. Okay, so first learn these things, and then you have to learn the theoretical part of machine learning, like what is the types of machine learning, and what is the algorithms we'll be using, and how to use that algorithm. Like if you're using linear regression to import linear model from scikit-learn, so you have to know that from where you can import the algorithm, from which dataset you can import the algorithm. You have to, like, I've already shared the resources. Okay, so for Python, the resources is given. For Python libraries, the resources is given. For basics of machine learning, for the roadmap of machine learning also, the resources is given in the slide. Okay, so just follow the steps here. Let me share again. Yeah. So, like first you have to learn a language, Python language, and we all have the knowledge of linear algebra. We have studied in our class 10th, 11th. So this is not we already know. Okay. So first you have to know Python libraries, and you have to know how to use notebooks like Jupyter notebooks. So Jupyter notebook, can I show how Jupyter notebook looks? Let me open Google Colab also. Oh, what? Okay. So for interpreting the linear regression model, first you have to import the linear model, and then we'll be using regression function for that. That regression dot linear model. Okay. So Google Colab and Jupyter Notebook both are same. Okay. Yeah, so there are two sections in the Google Colab or Jupyter Notebook. First one is text section, and another is code section. Okay, so whenever this is a type of notebook. So whenever you have to write text means about that topic, you will be using text function. Means whenever we will be clicking on text section, there will be a box appears, and we can write text. And whenever we want to run any code about that topic, we'll be using that code section. After writing the code, you can run this code also using that function, and it will be showing the output also. Okay, so whenever using Jupyter Notebook, you'll be using these two things: text function, text thing, and code. For using, like, you want to show some text about that topic, you will be using text, and for running any code, you will be using code for that. So Jupyter Notebook and Google Colab both are easy. Any other questions? And all the resources are given here. Okay. So for mathematics, like, we all know algebra, stats, probability, and if you want to learn, you can learn from this playlist, and crash course from Google, like machine learning crash course by Google, Python's basic, and Stanford University course for machine learning. So, like, you can also learn about Kaggle, like how data set of Kaggle works, what are the data stored in scikit-learn, and how to use TensorFlow for deep learning also. So, like, all the resources are given there, also the roadmap. Okay. Yeah, the roadmap to master machine learning. Okay. So now another thing is that there is a misconception of machine learning, data science, AI, deep learning. So do you guys know, like, what are the basic differences? Like, what are the differences between machine learning, AI, and uh, deep learning, and data science? Okay. So what are the differences between these things? Okay. Anyone wants to tell about this thing? Yeah. Like, we have learned in today's session, we have learned about machine learning, but there is misconception about data science, deep learning, AI. Like, what are the basic differences between these things? Anyone wants to tell? Okay, no worries. So first, let me go to the first slide of the session. Okay. Yeah. So in this slide, you can see that this is the universal set. Okay, artificial intelligence is a universal set. Means in artificial intelligence, we'll be using machine learning also, we'll be using data science also, we'll be using deep learning also. So artificial intelligence is the universal set. Means it, for deploying any chatbot, like if you want to deploy your artificial assistant or chatbot, you have to use machine learning to train the model. You have to use deep learning for building the neural networks in that model, so that it can replicate human brain. So if you want to deploy any artificial like model or a robot you want to deploy, so you have to use machine learning, deep learning, data science, all those things. So in artificial intelligence cover all those things. So machine learning covers what machine learning we have covered in the session. So artificial intelligence covers machine learning also. Then what is deep learning? So whenever, like, you want to create networks, okay, the neural networks, and like the image classification. So we all know, we are using a Google Lens, which can, like, if you scan the image, the Google Lens can predict that what is this image is called. This is image of cat, this is image of a dog. So it is using deep learning for that to predict, like, what is this. So whenever you want to classify images, you have to use deep learning, or you want to replicate human behavior, like you want to deploy a robot. Okay, so you have to, like, replicate human behavior, you have to replicate human brain using neural network. Okay, so you have to use deep learning for that. And deep learning, like in machine learning, we are using scikit-learn. Scikit-learn is the, like, most famous database for machine learning. And in deep learning, the keras is most famous. Okay. And what is data science? So, like, in data science covers all these means three things. Okay, means data science covers deep learning also, data science covers machine learning also, and artificial intelligence also, and also some databases and stats. Like, in data science, the mathematics is more than these three fields. Okay. So, like, if you are a beginner in this field, I will suggest to get started with machine learning first. Like, if you learn machine learning first, you can also jump into deep learning. You can then also jump into artificial intelligence, then like you can jump into data science. So like data science is the ultimate path you can follow after learning all these fields. Okay, so I hope you will get to know like what are the basic differences. Any other questions? Hello, Aditya.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, then
So
if
like
there are no questions, then let's
yeah,
travel.
yeah. Also like release a feedback form for that like audience, and like ask in the feedback form like and conduct a hands-on session on that also. Like they can also like follow me and we'll be coding these things on Google Colab, or like like we'll be coding these things, and like they can also deploy their project and they will be sharing their project in feedback form, and also they will be receiving certificates for that. Okay, so release a feedback form that if they are interested, then we can do this thing. Okay, so that's it for today's session. I think like there are no not like
Okay,
more
so
questions. Okay,
okay, then
so
shall
now
we
like
move on?
Aditya, you can like yeah, you can ending the
Yeah.
session by the
Okay,
ending
I will
note.
deliver a note. This was an informative and interesting session with Mr. Saurabh, and I am sure you all would agree to that. We hope you all be able to join our future events as well. Now, with this said, today's webinar come to an end. We thank each one of you for your patience and participation and for your support in this. We really could not have done this without you. Stay tuned for upcoming sessions. We will be waiting for you with open arms. You are now requested to fill the feedback form. Uh, okay, then see everyone. Goodbye. Take care and make sure to fill the feedback form, and you can drop your queries in the chat section as well, and you can connect us via email as well. Okay.
Okay, bye. Have a good day. And we'll be sharing the resources and the slides in the groups also. Yeah, so just check out the resources and learn. Like get started to
Not
learn.
not actually group, but we will yeah, we will share via email.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Shivam. Yeah. Thank you all of you for attending this event, and
Okay.
just give your
Okay, then see
just give
everyone.
your feedback. Yeah. Just give your feedback like if you are interested in more events like this. Okay, bye. See you.